always a good start. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Good evening, Namaste. Welcome back, everyone. I'm happy to continue tonight with the Ramayana and in the coming evenings also. And it was hard actually to wait because I finished the last time where Hanuman just had found Sita in the Ashoka Grove, and he had wondered like how he could not frighten her and approach her. So he started to talk sweetly to her from above the tree, from where she is sitting. And there's a ray of hope in her heart all of a sudden because of his sweet words. And then he jumps down and she can finally see him, the messenger of Rama, the bringer of hope and happiness. She saw a small monkey clinging to the branch of the tree. He was small and cute, with white fur and red face, and his eyes were the color of liquid gold. He was seated humbly on the branch and looked harmless. Still, she had her doubts. She had been cheated and tormented so many times in the past few months that she was always suspicious of everything and everyone. Hanuman guessed what was going on in her mind and bowed to her and began talking in a soft tone. "O fair lady, tell me who you are. Like dewdrops on lotus petals, tears seem to be clinging to your eyes. Why are you alone here, and what is the cause of your sorrow? If by some great good fortune you are Sita, wife of the noble Rama, who was forcibly brought here by Ravana, then please listen to me carefully. Tell me truthfully, are you not Sita? Sita cried out, Yes, yes indeed. I am the daughter-in-law of the great Dasarath and wife of the noble Rama. I accompanied my husband to the forest and was kidnapped by Ravana and brought here. He has given me 2 more months to succumb to his passion. If Rama doesn't come before that, I will end my life. Hanuman came closer, and once again fear rose in her heart. She had been tricked so often that fear was always lurking in her heart, and she doubted everyone. Maybe this was a new trick of Ravana. Sita spoke again. Perhaps you are indeed what you profess to be. Somehow I feel drawn to you. Please tell me more about Rama. She was torn between doubt and hope. Softly and sweetly, Hanuman began to speak of the one who was closest to her heart. My lady, please believe me. I have indeed been sent by your husband, the noble king of Ayodhya. My name is Hanuman. I have been searching for you all these days. I crossed the ocean and dared to enter the city to see you. And now my mission is over. Dear mother, do not allow despair to enter your heart. Sri Ram loves you twice as much as you love him. Mother, compose yourself and listen to Sri Ram's message. Even so, the monkey became overwhelmed with emotion and his eyes filled with tears. Sri Ram said, Ever since I have been separated from you, Sita, to me everything has become its reverse. The fresh, young leaves on the trees are like flames of fire. Nights are dreadful as the final dissolution, and the moon scorches like the sun. Lotus beds are like spears planted in the jungle, while rain clouds pour boiling oil. Those who were friendly before are now troublesome. Cool, soft, and fragrant breezes are like snake's breath. By speaking about it, one's agony is lessened. But to whom can I speak? There is no one who would understand. The reality about the love between you and me, dear, is known to my soul alone, and my soul ever abides with you. Know this to be the essence of my love. Sita was thrilled when she heard these words. She had been living in the darkness of despair for so many months that she had almost given up hope of rescue. These words put new heart into her heart, put new heart into her, and she said, "It is said that if a person lives in hope, happiness will come her way, sooner or later. I see now that this is true." Sita's joy knew no bound. Tears of happiness replaced the tears of sorrow. She was speechless with delight. Hanuman said respectfully, "My lady, please give me leave to go now. All I have to do now is go and give my message of hope to Rama, who is waiting anxiously for my return. Very soon you will see Rama and Lakshman entering the city of Lanka with a large army, and you will be rescued. Here is his ring, which he has sent with me to reassure you of my identity." He went near her and handed over the ring which she knew and loved so well. With eyes filled with gratitude, she looked at Hanuman, who had brought new hope to her heart. "Oh Hanuman," she said, "I wonder if Rama will be able to reach me in time. I have barely 2 more months to live. This is the 10th month of my captivity, and I have been given 1 year by the Rakshasa king before he kills me." Hanuman could not bear to think of going away and leaving Sita alone for another 2 months. "My lady," he said, "come with me, and I will carry you across the ocean and take you to Rama this minute. Just give me the command." Sita was both touched and amused by these words. "Dear little monkey," she said, "how can a tiny creature like you carry me across this sea?" Hanuman smiled and said, "My lady, do not doubt my capacity. I can grow to any size." So saying, he began to expand his body till it looked like a huge mountain. "If necessary, I can carry off the whole of Lanka. Don't be frightened. Come with me, and I'll take you to Rama and make him happy." Sita's eyes were round with wonder, and she said, "I see that I have underestimated you. I'm sure that you can easily take me across the sea, but we have to consider this proposition carefully. If you rescued me, it would bring no credit to Rama. It is only proper and fitting that Rama himself should come and rescue me. Hanuman, please go back and bring my husband and Lakshman as fast as you can. Then, and only then, will my sorrow come to an end." Hanuman was pleased to hear these words of Sita and said, "I will return immediately and give him all the news. Do you have any special message for him?" Sita told him of an incident which was known only to her and Rama. She unwrapped the end of her garment and then carefully took out her precious hair ornament and gave it to Hanuman, saying, "Please give this to Rama. He will be convinced that you have indeed met me." "Oh Hanuman, my life depends on you." "Are you sure Rama and the others will be able to cross the sea and come here?" Hanuman assured her that everything was possible and told her not to worry. He comforted her as best as he could, but she could not control the tears which were pouring down her cheeks at the thought that the one friendly face she had seen in 10 long months was now about to depart. Sadly, she allowed him to leave. Hanuman was so angry at the way that Sita was being treated that he decided to show his power to Ravana before he left. He wanted him to realize the might of the army he would have to face. He decided to destroy the garden. He uprooted every tree. Hanuman climbed to the top of the archway to the garden and then waited expectantly for things to happen. He didn't have long to wait. The Rakshasis who were in charge of Sita had woken up. They saw a huge monkey sitting on the arch and ran to report to Ravana. "There's an enormous monkey who has laid waste the whole garden. The only place he has not destroyed is the tree under which Sita sits." Ravana was furious when he heard of the fate of his precious garden. He sent some strong Rakshasas to kill the monkey. Hanuman was delighted. They surrounded him and tried to beat him. Pulling up a pillar on which the arch was supported, he struck and killed all the Rakshasas who had come. This was reported to Ravana, who found it very difficult to believe. He sent a young warrior, and Hanuman killed him at once, causing great confusion. Next, Ravana sent another battalion, and they were also killed. Ravana was bewildered by this unexpected turn of events and decided to send his youngest son, Akshakumar. There was a terrible encounter between the two of them. And finally, the boy got killed. Ravana was sunk in gloom when he heard about the death of his dear son. He summoned his eldest son, Meghanath, who was also known as Indrajit, to go and punish the monkey. Indrajit set out with delight. Indrajit was amazed at the monkey's powers and realized that it was impossible to kill him. So he decided to invoke a divine missile which would paralyze him. It was called the Nagapasa, and it knocked out Hanuman and made him feel as if he were bound. He recovered immediately, but he decided that it would be good to pretend to be unconscious, so that he would be taken into the presence of Ravana. He was tied up with ropes and dragged before the demon king. Hanuman was kicked and pulled into the hall where Ravana was seated, surrounded by his ministers. Hanuman had to admit that he was indeed a magnificent personality. his green eyes were gleaming with strange lights and looked piercingly at Hanuman. Ravana looked deep into the eyes of the monkey, and some unknown fear overcame him. He remembered an incident long ago, when Shiva's bull, Nandi, had cursed Ravana that he would suffer defeat when Nandi himself came in the form of a monkey. For a moment, Ravana thought that this was the time foretold by Nandi, and then he dismissed the incident as of no consequence and asked his minister to question the monkey about his purpose in coming to Lanka. "O monkey, have no fear. Answer truthfully, and no harm will come to you." Hanuman said, "I am a monkey by birth, and I destroyed the garden because I wanted to meet you face to face, O king. I have come here as a messenger of Sri Ram, whose wife Sita has been abducted by you. No one who has wronged Rama will escape death. Decide to act according to Dharma, and then perhaps you will be allowed to go free. Your life has been blessed by many gods and is filled with glorious things. Why should all this glory come to an end because of a woman? You are wise, and you should know the dictates of Dharma. Let Dharma and self-interest guide you. Restore Sita to her rightful husband." Ravana's anger was mounting with every word uttered by Hanuman. He could hardly contain himself till the end of the talk and roared to the guards to kill the monkey. Ravana's wise brother Bibhishana now intervened and said, "My lord, please consider well before you put this monkey to death. I admit he has done a lot of damage, but remember, he is a messenger, and it is against all rules to execute a messenger." Ravana was in no mood to listen, and again ordered that Hanuman should be killed immediately. Again, Bibhishana said, "The rules are very clear on this point, that a messenger should not be put to death. You can torture him, shave off his hair, or whip him, but you cannot kill him." At last, Ravana was convinced and said, "Bibhishana, you may be right that a messenger shouldn't be killed, but I have to punish this monkey somehow for the mischief he has done." The tail is a monkey's dearest treasure, so let his tail be lighted and let him be dragged through the streets of Lanka. The Rakshasas were delighted at the order. They fell on his tail and started to wrap it around with cloth dipped in oil. But the more they tied, the longer grew the tail, so that they had to bring cloth from all the shops in Lanka, and still it was not enough. Hanuman's tail was encircling the city of Lanka 10 times. The confused demons ran around, trying to wrap cloth around the tail, and still the tail grew and grew. At last, Hanuman took pity on them and allowed them to finish their job. After having wrapped the immense tail with cloth, they dipped it in oil and set fire to it. Everyone ran out of their houses to watch the spectacle. Hanuman allowed, Hanuman allowed them to bind him tightly and drag him through the streets of Lanka, which he had seen only during the night. He thought it would be a good idea to know the layout of the city, since the knowledge may come in handy when he returned with the army. This news was brought to Sita by some of the Rakshasis. Poor Sita started weeping again. Hope had just started to creep into her heart when this savior had come, but now it looked as if it was all in vain. She prayed with all her heart to Agni, the Lord of Fire, and begged him not to hurt Hanuman. The fire god's response was prompt, and the fire became cool on his skin, while Hanuman's father, the god of the wind, blew softly around his son, thus cooling him. Hanuman was astonished at this miracle. Now that he had succeeded in talking to the king of the Rakshasas and seeing the whole of Lanka, Hanuman decided that it was enough. In a minute, he broke free by flexing his body. He took an enormous leap into the heart of the city and jumped from mansion to mansion, setting fire to each with his flaming tail. At last, he landed on Ravana's palace and set it ablaze. The terrified citizens ran in every direction in their effort to extinguish the flames. The whole of Lanka was like a flaming torch. It was an awesome spectacle. At last, his conscience suddenly pricked him. What have I done? He thought. How could I have become such a slave to my anger? An angry man may kill even those who are to be respected. The truly great man is he who can control his wrath. If I have killed Sita, it means I have killed my master also. Then he reflected a while and thought, no, this cannot be. If the fire couldn't harm me, surely it could not have harmed her. Hanuman leaped towards the grove where she was sitting in order to take his leave. Sita was overjoyed to see him and gave him her blessings and told him to hurry back. Hanuman was eager to get back to Rama. He turned around to have a last look at the city. The fabulous city of Lanka now lay in shambles at his feet. He then returned to the top of the hill and took a flying leap. He passed with ease through the clouds and coursed through the sky like an arrow. The monkeys, who were eagerly awaiting his arrival, were thrilled as he landed in their midst. He told them all the news, how he had found Sita in the Ashoka grove, how he had set fire to Lanka, and all the rest of the story. As they heard the details, the excited monkeys danced about and jumped up and down in the air. Hanuman said that Sita was expecting her lord to come and rescue her, so they should head for Kishkinda straight away. Their enthusiasm lent wings to their feet, and the monkeys made the return back to Kishkinda in half the time. Sugriva was sure that they had come back with good news. He was sitting with Rama and Lakshman at the time on top of the hill and waited anxiously for Hanuman's arrival. Hanuman and Angada now came forward, and Hanuman bent low before Rama and said, "Seen have I Sita." He phrased his sentence in this way because he knew that Rama's heart was filled with expectation and that until he heard the word seen, he would be in agony. Hanuman wanted to spare him even this one moment of pain if he could, and thus said, "Seen have I Sita." Ram's happiness cannot be imagined. To hear that his beloved was alive and well, even though unhappy, was the greatest news he could hear. He hugged Hanuman and gave him all his blessings. Rama said, "I would like to know more about Sita. What did she say? Did she send any message for me?" Hanuman told him the whole story of his meeting with the lovely, lonely princess. Rama listened with tears flowing down his cheeks. Hanuman told him how happy Sita was to receive Rama's ring, and then he presented the hair ornament which he had given to him for Rama. Rama took it in his hands and pressed it to his chest. A flood of memories swept over him, and he said, "This was given to Janaki by her father, and she wore it for our wedding. How beautiful she looked." Turning to Lakshman, he said, "If she says she will live for a month more, then her life will be longer than mine. I cannot live for a moment more without seeing her. Take me to her, O Hanuman." He managed to get up and praise Hanuman for his fantastic effort and said, "You have accomplished that which no one else could have done. I am only sorry that I am unable to reward you in a fitting manner, O Hanuman. I can only embrace you as a token of my gratitude." With these words, Rama took Hanuman in his arms and pressed him to his bosom. That is the end of the 5th chapter, Sundarakanda, the beautiful chapter. Book 6 is called Yuddha Kanda, the book of battle. Now that Sita had been found, Rama's next worry was how best they could invade the island and rescue her. "My dear friend," said Sugriva, "we are all here to help you. We can destroy the enemy in no time." Rama listened to Sugriva. He replied, First of all, tell me about the city, what the strength of its army is, how the gateways are guarded, and so on. Then we can plan our attack. Hanuman recounted every detail of the city and its barricades. He concluded, Lanka is an exquisite city, built on a hill. It is surrounded by a golden wall. It has 4 massive gates with iron bars. 4 drawbridges are there, one in front of each gate, all fiercely guarded by the Rakshasas. Ravana has fire-spewing machines and catapults, which are capable of hurling enormous rocks great distances. He is always alert. It is almost impossible to enter, but do not fear. I am sure we can do it. Rama was pleased with this account and said, I am sure we can destroy Lanka. Sugriva, give orders to march immediately. The time is right. Let Nila take a section of the army and advance along a way which has fruits and roots. Let him be on his guard against the Rakshasas, who may try to poison the water tanks and trouble us in many ways. They are sure to do this when they hear of our march. Let Hanuman carry me on his shoulder, and Angada carry Lakshman, so that we can move faster. Sugriva did as commanded. There was great excitement amidst the monkeys, who leaped from tree to tree, shouting and waving their tails. They were all in high spirit. Mile after mile they covered effortlessly until they reached the southern shore. Rama ascended the hill from which Hanuman had jumped and decided to camp in the forest and plan their campaign. Thousands and thousands of monkeys arrived and camped on the shore. They stared fascinated at the waves of the ocean and wondered how they could cross it. Rama sat apart with Lakshman and said, "O Lakshman, my heart is heavy when I see this ocean. Every moment that I spend apart from my beloved increases my sorrow. Moreover, time is running short. She has sent word that she will not be able to live for longer than 2 months, out of which 1 month is already over. What shall we do?" In the meantime, in Lanka, Ravana had called a council of ministers to discuss the events of that catastrophic day when Lanka had been burned. His spies had also informed him about the approach of the monkey army. He felt sure that Rama would succeed in crossing the ocean somehow. He thought to ask the opinion of the wise men of his assembly. Unfortunately, all they knew was to bolster up his already bloated ego. "Your Majesty," they said, "you have defeated the gods and even Lord Shiva himself. There is no one in the whole of the 3 worlds who doesn't tremble at the very mention of your name. Why should you fear Rama? His army is only composed of monkeys and bears. How can it be compared to your army? Your son, Indrajit, can easily defeat this monkey army of Rama single-handed. These words of comfort made Ravana very confident and happy. The only one who spoke against his wishes was his own brother Vibhishana. We should never underestimate an enemy, he said. How has Rama offended you? You are the one who stole his wife and are keeping her here against her will. Lusting after another man's wife will lead to unhappiness. Sita will be the cause of untold misery for you and all of our people. Take my advice and return Sita to Rama. If you do not act immediately, great danger will befall us. I have dared to advise you because you are my brother and I have great love for you. We would all like to live in peace and harmony, so please take my advice. Ravana did not say a word and dismissed the council. Next morning, Vibhishana went to his brother's chamber. He was a gentle and noble soul, unlike his brother. Again, he tried to reason with Ravana and make him realize the effects of his foolishness. Blinded by his lust for Sita, Ravana was in no mood to listen to these well-intentioned words and replied harshly, "We have nothing to fear from anybody. You may go, O Vibhishana. I do not need the advice of cowards." Vibhishana stood up and said, "O king, I tried to save you. Whatever I said was meant only for your good. It is always easy to find people who will try to please you with honeyed words, but there are very few who will dare to tell a king the truth to his face. You are older than me, so I ask your forgiveness. But I cannot stay here any longer. I wanted to help you, but when death is approaching, a man will close his ears to the words of well-wishers." So saying, Vibhishana departed to the other shore, to Rama's camp, along with 4 friends. After leaving his brother, Vibhishana went to the opposite shore and approached Rama's camp. The monkeys who were guarding the entrance saw him in the air. Sugriva came out and observed him and told the monkeys to prepare for a fight. Seeing this, Vibhishana spoke loudly from the sky, "I am Vibhishana, the younger brother of Ravana." I tried my best to advise him to return Sita to Rama, but he insulted me and sent me out. I have abandoned everything I possess, including my family, and have come to take refuge at Rama's feet. For I have heard that he is merciful and friendly to all. Please announce my arrival to him. Sugriva ran back and reported to Rama, "These Rakshasas should never be trusted. He may be a spy. He may win your confidence and then betray you." Rama gave careful attention to what he said and then asked everybody else to give their view. All of them were of the same opinion that Bibhishana was not to be trusted. At last, Hanuman spoke. "I saw this man in Lanka when he spoke against Ravana's wishes to kill me. I think he must have tried to advise Ravana to give up his plan, and the latter must have refused. That must be the reason why he decided to leave. Moreover, someone who comes as a spy would not announce himself as he has done." Rama, the compassionate one, was pleased with Hanuman's words, for they were only an echo of his own thoughts. "Whoever approaches me with a heart filled with love, I will accept with equal love. I will not abandon one who has taken refuge in me, even though he may be filled with faults. This is my decision." Sugriva said, "My lord, you are too noble. I'm sure he is a spy. It would be safer to kill him." Rama smiled and said, "It is of no importance to me whether he is good or bad. The code of Dharma says that no one who has taken refuge should never be abandoned." The code of Dharma says that one who has taken refuge should never be abandoned. Even if Ravana himself came and fell at my feet, I would not refuse him, although he has wronged me. Go and bring Bibhishana." Sugriva was amazed at these words. Bibhishana was thrilled to hear that he had been accepted. Rama smiled tenderly at him and bade him welcome. He asked him about Ravana's strength and weaknesses. Rama listened carefully to this account and then said, "Fear not, O Vibhishana. I will kill all of them and install you as king of Lanka." Vibhishana fell at his feet and said, "I swear in the name of Dharma that I will assist you in all ways, to the best of my ability. But the one thing I will not do is to kill my own people." Rama said, "Lakshman, bring water from the ocean. I will myself perform the coronation of Bibhishana here and now." Rama took the water brought by Lakshman and performed the ceremonial bath by pouring the consecrated water over the head of the prospective king. Now both Sugriva and Hanuman asked their new-found ally to suggest a means by which they could cross the ocean. Bibhishana suggested that the Lord of the Ocean would surely comply with the wishes of Rama if he asked him. Rama decided to fast to death if the Lord of the Ocean did not comply with his request. So he lay on a mat in front of the ocean and meditated. 3 days and 3 nights passed without any response from the Lord of the Ocean. At the end of this time, Rama lost his patience and said to Lakshman, "As I told you before, Lakshman, people mistake my good nature for weakness. Some individuals can only be subdued by force, and the Lord of the Ocean seems to be one of them. Bring my bow and arrow, and I will dry him up. I will drain him of his water, so that nothing remains but an expanse of sand, and my army will easily cross over." So saying, he started to discharge arrow after arrow from his mighty bow. The waters rose. The waves were as tall as mountains. The earth trembled. The sky became pitch black and meteors flashed across the heavens, even as thunder roared and lightning flashed. The ocean moaned. Out of the ocean, Samudra, lord of the sea, rose up, trembling with fear. "O Lord," he said, "you are known to be the abode of kindness and mercy. I did not appear before you earlier because I cannot go against my nature, as you know only too well. Earth, water, fire, and wind are all ruled by the laws of nature. I am by nature deep and wide. I cannot change that. But I can give you a plan by which you can cross easily. There is a monkey called Nala in your army, and he is an expert in building bridges. Let him build a bridge, and I will see that it doesn't sink or fall apart while the army is crossing. I can also promise you that my sharks and whales will not harm your army as they pass." Rama called Nala, who immediately agreed to construct the bridge. Before starting the construction, Rama made a beautiful linga of Lord Shiva with sand and worshipped it, asking Shiva to bless him with success. The place where Rama installed the lingam is known as Rameshwaram, and it is a famous place of worship even to this day. This is where I'm going to finish the reading for tonight. So tomorrow evening I will continue about the construction of the bridge and whether the army of Rama is able to actually cross the ocean and rescue Sita. Ayodhya Radha Shri Ram, Dasratha Nandan Shri Ram, Patita Pavana Janaki Vallabha Sita Mohana Ram. Ayodhya Radha Dasratanandan Sri Ram Patita Pavana Janaki Vallabha Sita Mohana Ram Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Sita Ram Sita Ram Jai Sita 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 Ram Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Sita Ram Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram So don't forget, tomorrow evening we are back again for another reading at 9 o'clock. And I want to conclude with a prayer that the author of the Rama Lila, Vanamali, has put at the end of the book. May all be healthy. May all be at peace with each other. May all be fulfilled. May all be auspicious. Let all be happy. Let all be free from pain. Let all see reality everywhere. Let none have sorrow. Ram Ram.